We are in a series. We're talking about movers and shakers. We were supposed to end this weekend, but we're going on. How many of you guys have some more moving and some more shaking to go? We're gonna carry it on until at least the 18th of August. I've got at least 2 or 3 more messages in me for it. And then Pastor Nick has a message on it. So, Pastor Nick, I love when Pastor Nick preaches. He gets me all fired up. My knees start to shake and get all excited. We've got a couple of big events that I want you to pray for. We're going to be going down in San Diego, the Presence Conference, Presence America, with the C3 group is going to be there. And during that time, we're going to do a Pathfinders event. Pathfinders is like our influencers event, but it's their breakfast, and they're going to have 750 business leaders from all around the world. And I'm going to be a keynote with Colin Higginbottom, Phil Pringle, and Pastor Jurgen. So it's going to be a powerful time. I want to encourage you to, if you can come on down and go to that conference and get on down in there. And then that's going to be a good time. Amen? I'm trying to get Bob Harrison to sneak in sometime in August, too. He keeps texting me. We were texting this morning. How many of you guys love Bob Harrison? And he's going to, amen. That's all of my announcements. They already started my time. I better get going. All right, so today's title of today's message is That's Why I'm Here. That's why I'm here. Come on, someone say, that's why I'm here. Turn to someone on the other side and say, that's why I am here. It's important that if you show up somewhere, you know why you're there. Why are you here? I don't know. You have to know why you're there. And so we're going to start here in Mark chapter 1. We're going to read. As we read, I want you to just kind of follow along as I just kind of set it up a little bit. Mark chapter 1, verse 35. Jesus is set aside in his life a time of prayer. Pastor Neela did a great job in talking about prayer this morning and talking about how Jesus set aside a time of prayer. In this setting, Jesus had walked away from a gathering where everyone was, and he was praying, and then Peter comes looking for him, and he says, where have you been? Everybody's looking for you. How many of you know that's a great kind of picture of your Savior? Is that when the crowd's there, he's not trying to be in the midst of the crowd. He's actually going to hang out with his dad, and he's going to connect with his father. And I know modern day, we like to be with the crowd, but sometimes we need to learn to get away from the crowd, because that's what happens. What we want to see in the crowd actually happens first in the private. It first happens in the private, that private time that you have with God. It actually gives you the power to bring the shift in the crowd. And so he's there, and they come and they go, what are you doing, Jesus? We've been looking for you. I love how Peter said, he's so exaggerated. Everybody's looking for you. Everybody. Everyone is looking for you, and he said to them, let's go into the next town. I want you to know we're talking about, as movers and shakers, we're talking about living a life that has an assignment. Jesus went into the private room, and then when he came out, the first thing he wanted to do is to go into his assignment. If you are a person that you don't know your assignment, maybe you need to find your private place. Because in your private place, you're going to get an assignment. You can't meet with God without him telling you where to go. You can't meet with God without telling him telling you what to do next. And so he says, let's go to the next town that I may preach there also, because for this purpose I have come forth. I want you to know he's saying, that's why I'm here. I'm going to go over there because I'm going to go preach. I have an assignment to get over there. Now I want to ask you before we get in there, do you have a place that you're pointing to and I need to go over there? And when I get there, I'm going to be there for a certain reason, a purpose. A plan. That's why I'm here over there. That's why I'm alive over there. And he gets over there, and as he's doing this, there's healings taking place and miracles are happening. And then there's a man that comes, and he's a leper, and he says, I want to be healed. And he says, if you're willing, Jesus, someone say willing. He says, if you're willing, will you heal me? And this is important that you see this. Jesus has compassion on him. Say he was moved with compassion. So let's read it. It says, and then Jesus moved with compassion. If you're going to be a mover and a shaker, you have to be moved with compassion. You have to be moved with compassion. There has to be something in you that says, I can change someone's life. I can make someone's life better. I can make this circumstance better. And that's going to activate in me a move of compassion. Now, a common passion. A common passion. If I find that your life, you're hurt in life and I don't care, that means I'm not going to get into your passion. But if I get to a place where I'm in your common passion, I am now going to be common with your passion. Someone say common passion. Now, I need to know that when I'm going to have compassion, I'm getting into your passion. I'm going to become common with your passion. I'm not going to act like your passion is far from me. I'm going to become common to your passion. I'm going to get associated to your passion, to whatever's happening. Now, you may say passion is only about where I'm going. No, sometimes people are in their passion, and you know it because it's the thing that they constantly talk about. It's the pain that they're talking about. It's the shame that they're talking about. It's the fear that they're talking about. It's the concern that they have in their life. And sometimes we think, well, I can't get involved with that because that's their circumstance. No, that's their passion. That's the thing that's stirring their emotions right now. It's stirring their fear. It's stirring their shame. And I want to become common with that because I want to bring something to that. Are you hearing me? And so I can't let you just stay in that passion because I know that's not the ultimate passion in your life. And my assignment in life is to get into your passion, get into your stuff and help you go from one level to another level. I'm going to come and I'm going to have compassion. I'm going to have compassion. That's why I have come. I must go preach over there because I've been in the presence of the Lord and I found out that there is some passion over there that I need to go and fix. And so I'm going to come over there so that when I get there, I have come. Passion that made me come. Passion that made me show up. Passion that made me get over here. Passion that made me stop what I was doing over there. And oh, come on, somebody. See, if you have compassion, it makes you stop what you're doing here and move over there because I know that there's someone that needs to hear me preach. There's someone that needs to have my hands laid on them. There's someone that needs to hear me. And I'm going to come to you because I know you're in a passionate moment right now. And that passionate moment is fear. That passionate moment is shame. I know we want to just move passion into some other place, but you encounter people that are passionate every single day. How do you know? Because they complain all day. That's a passion. It contains their thoughts and their emotions and their feelings and the intentions of their heart are now surrounded by this problem. A person with back pain talk about their pain all day and it consumes them. I want to get into their life and I want to remove that passion from them so that they can have the true passion of their heart to lead them into the purpose and the destiny that God has for them. I want to be compassionate about your circumstance. I'm going to show up. Come on, somebody. That's why I show up. You have an assignment to show up. Oh, I'm talking to someone over here. You have an assignment to show up. Come on, you have an assignment to show up. There's a reason for you to show up. It's your assignment, and that assignment keeps you alive. That assignment. Jesus didn't want to hang out with people if there was no assignment, so he hung out with his Father. And then when he hung out with his Father, he got his assignment. And then he didn't want to just hang out with people because he was an I personality. He hung out with people because he had an assignment to be compassionate in their circumstance. We're running around just looking for friends, but I'm looking for someone that I can have compassion on. Someone I can get in their stuff and remove the chains off of their life. That's what I want to spend my life doing. And if I'm not there, I'm going to be hanging out with my family and my God. He says, I had compassion. Then I found this word that was so interesting that was following. And he says, I am willing. Someone says, I am willing. Someone say, I am willing. See, this is the key. This is the key that compassion is an act of the will. Compassion is not the act of your emotions. You may have the emotion, but it's first you choose the will. I am willing to get into your life. I'm willing to get into your stuff. Because I could be, I have my own stuff. I don't need to be bothered with your stuff, but something makes me show up. And that's why I'm here. You have to understand that there's sometimes you are moved, but sometimes what you're moved in and moved by is what you already made up your mind that you have the ability to change. If I didn't think I can help a leper, then I don't actually get moved by it. But when I know I'm willing, I have the will to do it, then when it shows up, that problem shows up. How many of you you found yourself in a circumstance where you're like, you're the one there, and all of a sudden someone says, oh, I have this problem. You're like, oh, I know how to handle that. That's because you are willing to do it, and you can't just let someone who has the problem that you know how to solve stay in it, and the moment you go, I'm willing to do it, that's compassion. It's an act of your will. I'm willing to get involved. I'm willing to help. I'm willing to save this. I'm willing to deliver this. And when I do that, it activates the power to manifest what's necessary. See, we think that this compassion is, we're moved by it. You are moved by it, but you're not moved by it. You're willing, and that moves you. You have to be willing first. The Bible says if you want to inherit the land, what do you have to have first? You have to have willingness. If you're willing and obedient, then you will inherit. You have to first, those are two choices. Willing and obedient. Those are choices, and I know we want to take the land because we feel the passion of the Lord for it. No, but if you get in, you have the passion for that, and your passion may be other kind of motivated. Your passion for that, and God saying it's not yet the will and not yet the obedient time. Just because you feel it doesn't mean. You have to be willing and obedient, and you have to understand that you have to tap into your will. I love this because we see this in Hebrews. In Hebrews, I want you to turn there as I finish this. Hebrews chapter 11. He says this. He says this to Jesus says this. He says, I am willing. So he says, be healed. And he sets the man free. He unravels the person from his passion. Now, how many of you know once he no longer has that as his passion, he can actually have another assignment? I'm going to talk about that other assignment. Some of us can't get into our other assignment because we're still bound by the devil's assignment. See, what we're doing is we exchange assignments. I break leprosy off of you so that you can spend your life on the other assignment. I get the headaches out of your life so that you can go and spend your time on the other assignments. Come on, Fatima. We get healed so that you don't have to spend your time on other machines. No, we don't have time for that. That's why I'm here. Come on, someone turn to someone and say, that's why I am here. See, I'm a mover and a shaker because I have the ability to set you free from the devil's assignment and set you into God's assignment. I know this is not a Northwest kind of preacher, but I want you to know I have an assignment to give the Northwest some preaching. That's why I'm here. And you have to be willing to be set free. This person gets set free because Jesus was willing, and because he was willing, compassion happened. Compassion happens, power is released. You have to be moved by it. Someone say be moved by it. But before you move by it, you have to be willing to be moved by it. One of the things I noticed about God is God never does to me or through me what I'm not willing to allow him to bring through me or to me. He will never violate my will. So he first wants to know, am I willing? He will, no matter how much I move by it, only reason I feel that is because I first said I'm willing. He will never violate your will. He will never make you do something that you are not willing to set your will to the side and say, I am completely yielded to the influence that you want to have on my heart right now. I want you to influence my heart right now, so I'm willing to allow you to give me my heart's desire. But you have to first be willing to allow him to influence you. Jesus would have loved to stay in that prayer room. He probably would have loved to eat the hors d'oeuvres at the party. But the fact is he had an assignment to get over there, to cross the sea, to go to that other city. You know what it takes to pack up and go to another city? Come on, it takes a lot of packing, moving and thinking and get over here, hurry up, why you late, right? It takes a lot of that. So why go over there? Because there's someone over there that's in a passion that's not from God. They are stirred and they're controlled by something that's not from God. And that compassion makes me do things that I never would do before. We look at this Hebrews chapter 11. Whoa, I'm having fun. I felt like we're at Citadel Church the last couple of weeks. I mean, I feel like we really are at Citadel Church the last couple of weeks. I like this church. Look at it. By faith. Someone say by faith. So you have to, how many of you remember what faith was? Faith was obedience. From the first week, faith was obedient. Faith is your obedience in action. Or Robert said it. Faith is my obedience. Only reason I did something that looks amazing is because God told me to do it and I obeyed. That's what Oral Roberts said. He didn't say I have a great believing. He says I just obey God. That's faith. So if you and I will realize if you can just obey God, you'll have incredible faith. Just obey him because he's smart. He's smarter than you and I. I know you think you're smart and you're cute and everything, but the fact is, he's smart and he's much cuter. Someone say, so faith. So by faith, someone say, by it. By this faith, he was being divinely warned of things not yet seen. So how many of you know that the hardest part about being a leader is leaders always have to take people into things that are not seen. I'm going to talk more about that in the builders meeting. We're not going to go builders meeting right now. We're going to chill out a little bit. Now watch this. He was divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved. Someone say moved with godly fear. So when I have compassion and I know I can help you, I know that one day if I don't help you, I'm going to have to answer to it because the Bible says, if you have the ability to help them, don't put it off. Don't put it off. No, I'm going to talk to this other church over here. Don't put it off. If I can help you, and I have the ability to help you, I can't put it off. So there's a fear of the Lord, a fear of God that rises in me, knowing that I'm doing an unjust thing. That God brought me here. That's why I'm here. He brought me here because I can help you. I have the ability to remove leprosy. You have leprosy. If I don't, then that's wrong. You understand? So he's moved with godly fear. Someone say godly fear. It's amazing because we need the fear of God more in this season than ever before. We need the fear of God. The clothing is good, but we need the fear of God. We need to actually now I want you to hear me because we're talking about obedience. When God tells me to do something and I don't do it, that means I don't have the fear of God. But if God tells me to do something and I do it, that means I have the fear of God. And the fear of God it's not that I'm afraid that God's going to kill me, which he can. I'm not going to ever say that God's not, he couldn't just blow you up. You be right, and then he was not. I don't think that's his agenda right now. But I'm not saying he can't. Because I don't want to blow up right here in front of you. Tracey was, and then he was not. I don't want to be a part of that whole story life. I don't want that. That's not for me. But look what it says. And he prepared. Now what? He prepared an ark for the saving of his household. I want you to see this, that his moving towards godly fear was about his household. It's about where his compassion is. He worked on saving the whole world because he knew his family needed to be saved. Maybe you and I need to work on saving the whole world just to get our family saved. Maybe the compassion that you have in saving your family will save the whole world. I thought to myself, my goodness, that's a lot of effort for all those years building that thing and just get 8 people. But thank God, if you're going to take 8, you might as well take your family. I would much rather have my 8 than have your 8. I'm just saying. See, sometimes we think that the crowd is what God's after. Why save the whole world and lose your family? It's not worth it for me. I love you all, but my family's getting in the boat first. You guys don't like that. That's because you don't like your family yet. But you're going to work on it. Let's work on it. You're like, I don't want my family in my boat. They can be in the dinghy behind us, pulling them back there. You'll be throwing like chum on the way back, right? You'll be pigeon carrier from the kitchen. You see a bucket rolling on a string. No, see, you need to have compassion on your family. See, the thing is, I realize something. If you can't love the people that are the closest to you, your family, then how are you going to love the rest of the world? People that say they love the world, but they hate their family, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry, I just got all intense. Well, because I want you to see, this is where godly fear comes in. God gave me my family. God gave you your family. God gave you to that family. And they may all be knuckleheads. Who else do you think is getting in the boat? A bunch of knuckleheads. And they probably only got in because they were told, get in that boat, boy. You better get in that boat. If you don't get in that boat, I'm going to knock you out. You never let me have any fun. You'll be glad I saved you. You'll be glad we built this boat. Come on, somebody, your kids. My dad, I hate my dad. As that rain starts to drop, tick, 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 click, 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 click. What's that? That's the rain I've been telling you about. Aren't you glad you're on the boat? But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Someone say divinely warned. You know that divinely warned is such an intense word. It's a word. There's some words that don't connect with you right away when you read. I'm like, when I read that, I'm like, divinely warned. I'm like, okay, so that's interesting way to say it, because he was warned of something. He wasn't warned that if you don't build this boat, you're going to die. He's warned of an event that's coming. There's something coming, and I want you to be safe. So how many know some of the things that you're growing in, you're learning, you're developing, you're becoming stronger in, and you're going a route that's not everybody running to? And you may be only serving 8 people right now, but do you know that you're being prepared for the day that you're being warned of? Okay, did you catch that? That someday, when all of this work of building this ark doesn't make sense to anybody else, and how you spent all this time building this ark, it doesn't make sense that you spent all this time building this ark, and everybody's saying it's never going to rain because this is the best days we've ever had. And then the next thing you know, you find yourself building out something, and then when the day that you were warned about comes, you're ready. I want to be divinely warned. I don't want to be the dumb one. I mean, I want to be warned. All right, okay, so let me just give you this word, warned. Someone say divinely warned. It's a Greek word that is so intense. Is harmatzo. And what it means is, first meaning is this. The first meaning is that you would be hired as an agency to fix the PR problem. Public affairs. You would handle all public affairs. Okay, I know it's an intense word. It's like, that doesn't sound like a divinely warned, but he's saying, I have a problem coming, and I need you to be my spokesperson. I need you to be my PR guy. I need you to be the one that helps. How many of you know your assignment is to be the one that is the spokesperson, that you are God's agency for damage control? I mean, that's a big statement in divinely warned. The second is that you would be the person that people would come to inquire and get consulting from the oracle. Now, when he's saying I'm divinely, this means that I'm telling you this information, this inside information, so that you have what's really going on. I know it's a very intense word. It's a very impotent word. Very potent word. It's in the translation is so interesting because that's what it means, that you're being divinely warned of things to come, things that are unseen, things that no one else knows, insider trading. And if anybody wants to know about it, they come to you. What kind of platform is he building for you? What kind of platform is he building for you? Divinely warned. Third is that you would then take on the name of the person and be their absolute imitation, their ambassador. That's what this word means. There's something coming to the people that you know, and you are the person that is going to represent God. You're going to be the one that cleans up the mess. You're going to be the one that makes sure that the PR is handled. You're going to make sure that everybody's prepared for what's coming. I just thought that was amazing. So godly fear, the reason I'm doing this is because I have information that you don't know. I'm not saying that about you right now, but I'm saying that, like, if you encounter someone that has leprosy and they think that they're going to live like this all their life, I have insider trading information. If you're broke and you want to, and you go, I only have like $50,000 and I need to invest this. I need to invest this in the right thing, and I can pull you to the side and go, listen, this is where you need to put it, because I got some information. I know it's not in the natural, it's not right. You can't do that. You go to jail, right? But but in the spirit, you go, I got some information that things are about to turn around in this area. Why? Because God wants you to have, see, the fear of the Lord is, no, I have information, I need to make sure you have it. And I need to make sure you get it. And I need you to know that you're God's ambassador in this earth. That's why your assignment is not a small assignment. You have a world-changing assignment, even though you're only saving 8 people. I just think this is amazing, because when it comes to compassion, he was focusing on his kids. I need to build this for my family, but it's bigger than that. You can focus on something that's close, intimate, and feeling, but it can have the magnitude of saving the whole world. And can you imagine if he didn't save his family, what would happen? This was the success of the plan, the seed. If he would have had no one else, the plan would have failed. All this divinely warning and him being set up. I want you to think about the small things you're doing. and the significance of how something small, that you and I are sitting in this room because of that event right there. That one small little thing of compassion for that small group of 8. It turned into everybody that you see, the people that are running you off the road, all those people were in that boat. I mean, think about it. I spent all night thinking about it. That's why I woke you up early. I was thinking about it. Bouncing around. She's like, you're moving around. Like, okay, but I'm thinking about it. 8 people. But it saved the whole world. 8 people. What are you doing that's so small, so insignificant, but it's going to save the whole world? People mock it. People don't think it's a big deal. But it's going to save the world. You spend all your day building it, but it's going to save the world. You got blisters on your fingers, but it's going to save the world. People are spray painting your house, but it's going to save the world. See, this is the thing that I realize is that when the more compassion and empathy leaves the society, the less assignments are being fulfilled. Told you last week that Miles Monroe said the wealthiest place in the earth is a cemetery, because people go to the grave with their assignments unfinished. And we're decreasing in our compassion. The studies are showing our compassion and our empathy are being removed from our society. We have hundreds of thousands of friends on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, and yet we have less compassion because it's really about you seeing me, not me seeing you. And yet Oral Roberts said this when we were in his house, and he said, the key to seeing healings is compassion. The key to seeing a healing is compassion. The key to saving this world is compassion. And that compassion makes sure that you have a solid godly fear, because you're the one that is supposed to show up. That's my agency. My agency is I'm the one that shows up. No one else is coming. We say that for years. No one else is coming. It's us. We're the one that shows up. What if you're the only one that will ever encounter that person at the store? And you can say all you want to, someone else is going to come, I'm too busy. But what if you're the only agent that God... What if you're the only agent that God activated that day? Come on, man in black. You're the only one that God sent. You better get in that ride. What if you're the only agent? What if there's no one else coming? What if they don't have second and third agents? But you're there in the Safeway and you're divinely warned. I've told you a story in the past where I said, God, I'm really busy. I have to go over here and do this thing. And when I get time in the next week or so, I'm going to come back and talk to this person. Everything you told me to tell them, I'm going to come back and tell them. I went away, come back in a couple of days. I said, can I see so-and-so? Are they here? They said, no, they're no longer here. I said, well, how can I find them? Because I really have to tell them something. They said, well, you can't find them because they died in an accident 2 days ago. Oh, wait, no, see, God was telling me to tell them I love them. What a simple statement. How quick would that message be delivered? It's amazing how busy we can get when we're the only agent. That's why I'm here. Some people are trying to figure out, why are we working on being influencers? Because there's a space that agents are not going to. That God wants to raise up a whole nother level of agents, that they can get into certain spaces. I'm being divinely warned. The fear of the Lord is in me. Come on, there's a fear of the Lord in you, that I must obey the heavenly vision. Is this too intense? I only got 4.5 more minutes to get more intense. So I want you to see this, because you're the agent of God. Maybe you're the one. Maybe you're the last person that this person will ever talk to. And you've got to have that insider trading information. Amen? First John, can we put that up to First John? First John, it's very potent, very powerful. He says, he who sins is of the devil, for the devil has sinned from the beginning. That's the agency we're working against. As God's sending out his agents, the devil's sending out his agents. And what he does is he wants to bind people. So a person in leprosy is a bondage that doesn't come from God. I know I'm talking leprosy because that's the scripture that we're using. But it could be anything. From cancer to, our job is to unravel. So for this purpose, someone say, for this purpose, the Son of God was manifested. I'm here and I'm revealed for this purpose. This is why I'm here. It's because the devil's a sinner. Oh, come on, somebody. It's because the devil loves to bind people. He loves to control them with passions that they can't get loose from. And that's why I'm here. Come on, somebody. That's why I'm here. I'm here because the devil likes to control people. He's an evil. Or Robert said it this way: God's a good God. The devil's a bad devil. And that's why I'm here. It's because the devil's a bad devil. Are you guys here for that reason? And this is what it says. That I might, or he might, the Son of God might destroy the works of the devil. That's why you're here. I destroy the works of the devil. I destroy poverty. I destroy shame. I destroy leprosy. I destroy cancer. I destroy any disease that stands at why? Because that's why I'm here. Say it to someone. That's why I'm here. I'm God's agency. I'm God's agent to handle his business. Now remember, when he's calling Noah, he's saying, Noah, I got to tell you something. I have a mess in the earth. I have a problem going on here. There's something going on. And the scripture that he uses, he says to Noah, divinely warns him. If you look at Genesis chapter 6, it's amazing. He says this in Genesis chapter 6. If we can put that up, I don't know if I gave it to you. I did? Okay. He says, and God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. I thought that was such an interesting way to say it. The end of all flesh has come before me. So I wanted to look up with the words. I knew immediately the word before me, that is the word my face. Before is the word that means leadership. The flesh is leading before me. No one's led by me. This is what God, this is a conversation God had with, no, it says, the flesh is leading people. I'm no longer, Panim is me, but that's actually the word my face, which is the word that's used for presence. My people are not presence driven, they are flesh driven. And they're led by the flesh and not by me, not by my face. People are not seeking my face, they're seeking my hand, they're seeking the flesh. And so he says, I can't dwell in this kind of circumstance where I am second to the flesh. This is what he warned Noah of. Come on, somebody. I know He warned Noah and said, listen, Noah, this is my problem. I have an issue on the earth. My problem is this, that everyone is seeking their own will and not seeking mine. He says, therefore, I've got to destroy it because I can't be the second man in my own world. So he found 8 that would be led by the face. I'm having so much fun. I know, I'm sorry. I've been thinking about this too long. I can't think about all our messages too long because I get too much thinking about it. It just messes me up. I have so many words because I talk to myself like this all week. And then you get a whole week's worth of words. She says, I want to hear all the words. And she's sincere about it too. I want you to know this. I want you to get this because it's amazing that God's saying, I can't handle an earth that I create that's supposed to be led by me being led by the flesh. Now, if I'm led by God, that means he has assignments for me that have come from the place of the prayer room where I'm in his presence and he gives me his assignment. I'm seeking his face. When I see his face, I see his assignment. Now my life is not about what I want, not my will, but your will be done. I'll start to wrap up. So Jesus is praying for this guy. In Matthew, it shows the same picture. He's praying for this guy. He comes and he prays for this guy. He gets healed. Guy goes, and then Jesus turns and the disciple said, but we also have people who are hungry. I love when you have compassion. It doesn't matter where you use it. I can heal the sick. I can break bread and multiply it. I can feed the poor. I can raise up businesses. All of that is the same willingness to get into someone's passion. I can show up. The last thing I want to talk to you about is in Jude. Jude says this, that we earnestly contend. Someone say earnest. We earnestly contend for the common salvation, for the faith, right? This is our common salvation. And we exhort you to contend earnestly for the faith which was once and for all delivered to the saints. Maybe it's earlier than that. Common salvation. It uses the term common salvation. Beloved, while I was very diligent to write to you concerning our common salvation. Someone say common. What's the common salvation? I'm going to make your passion common to me. I'm going to bring salvation to it. It's common for people to be set free. That's what salvation is. Salvation is people getting set free. It shouldn't be amazing when people get a miracle. Because I have insider trading information. God does miracles. He's a miracle working God. We shouldn't make a big deal of God doing miracles. We should tell people about it. But the fact is, it's the miracle. He's a miracle working God. How can we sing about it and not believe it? So common salvation, I found it necessary to write to you to contend. You want to know how you get into this? You have to contend. What's contending mean? Contending is an act of the will. I just don't feel like that. I don't feel compassion for that. It's because you haven't contended with your willingness. Contend with your will. Contend with your will. I don't know if I'm like that. That's not my personality. No, we're not here about talking about personalities because some of it was based upon the environment you were raised in. So we don't want all of your personality. Come on, Doc. Isn't that right? So we people make excuses of their personality, but you got it from your grandma or your dad or your environment or your teacher who told you were no good, and you embrace this. But it's not who God made you to be. God didn't make you to be oh shucks and shy. You guys didn't catch that. I'm going over here. God didn't make you all shy. That was not, God didn't say, I'm going to make you shy. No, I know how shyness came. I became shy, and it was the fearful season of my life. And I did it because everybody said, oh, look how cute he was. He's so shy. And I didn't realize they were binding me. I was getting bound so that when I was 16 and 17 and I needed to step out in faith, I was too shy. The whole time they're telling me I'm shy at 6, God was saying, I can't have you shy because when you're 20-something, I'm going to call you to preach. And I couldn't stand up in front of anybody and preach because, shucks, my personality is not that way. That personality wasn't what I was born with. I was born tap dancing, baby. I was born tap dancing. I came out tapping. You guys don't know nothing about that. You're saying neither do you. That's all right. I'm doing it. I'm up here. I ain't shy. See, the realization is some of our personality is a bondage. Bondage is not at all from God. God gives you assignments to break. He gives you assignments to break. He gives you assignments to break it. My teacher couldn't get me to speak in front of anybody. Couldn't. You mean next Thursday? Are you sure next Thursday? We're going to have a test next Thursday on our speech? You mean we're not going to be reading the books? I got to write something and talk? I'm feeling something coming. I'm coming something. I came down with it next Thursday. I came down with it next Thursday, and I did not get up. I skipped that class. I took an F. I don't care what you say. And then I remember I was invited to a business, and this business called on for me to teach. I didn't even think about teaching. I was like, I'm about that business. I got into a little room and put up a little whiteboard and started drawing circles. Boy, I was like, you're going to do this, and this is the compensation for you, and this is your plan, and this is how you're going to, we're millionaires. Go down to the Mercedes dealer and get your old glass of mayo glass, rinse it out really good because it smells like mayo, and then rinse it out, and then go into that Mercedes and whip it all up, and then come out, and then we're going to draw some more plans. You got some friends? I had no concern. When you are in your assignment, your fear falls off. When you're in your assignment, oh, come on, somebody, let me talk to you. When you're in your assignment, I'm finished with this. When you're in your assignment, nothing holds you back. Remember the guy that was the leprous guy, and he goes, Jesus healed him. You know what Jesus said to the guy? He said, listen, he says, I want you to go, and I want you to go straight to the priest, and I don't want you to talk to anybody. I want you to tell nobody about what I just did. I want you to keep it to yourself. I went, shh, don't tell nobody. This man, the Bible says this man, he told everybody. He walked away from Jesus like, okay, I know what Jesus said, but let me tell you, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. And every street corner is like, let me tell you something Jesus said. Let me tell you what Jesus said. Let me tell you what Jesus did. Jesus set me free. He set me so free. Man, I was all leprous, and now look at me. I got my fingers back. What? I can actually flip a pancake. What? This is like, pan don't anymore. I got it. Well, this is my testimony. I used to do it like this, and now I can do it like that. Look at that, boy. Look at that. Look at that pancake. Jesus gave me everything. He gave it all back. I mean, come on. If Jesus to you, how many of you know your assignment is to make him big? If Jesus did that to you, you now have a platform to make his ministry blow up. And the realization is we run around trying to get platforms, but if we just set people free, we set enough people free, they'll go around going, look it. Look what I can do. I can count. You understand? He set people free. He set them free. You have to understand Jesus is a miracle worker. And we're the only ones that put a limit on his extension, on his agency. He's the only one that can make anything happen. All things can come to us. I don't have a doubt of any of it. I mean, I'm working on, seriously, I'm pushing it. I told staff this week, I said, the miracles we're seeing, I'm believing God to do miracles. I'm not looking for the incredible, like, let's fill the stadiums and let me pretend to do something up here. I want the miracle to happen in your life, and then I want you to go and tell everybody about it. That's what happened with Jesus' ministry. His platform grew. Do you know his platform grew in such a way that he couldn't go back to that city? It says he was wanted to come back. He thought it would be a great vacation spot. He's like, I like this city. I'm doing a few miracles. Airbnb's over there real nice. I like it. They got soft beds or hard beds, whichever your thing is. And then the Bible says that he could not come back to that place. All things are possible. He could not come back to that place. Are you guys with me? But the only thing he could do was to be outside in a deserted place. That's how much his fame increased. From testimony. We're busy running around when we have an agency. We have an assignment. A divinely warned position. What is God telling you about the Northwest? Are you not listening? What is God telling you about the nation? See, we have Christians that are so busy complaining about it that we're not actually seeing our agency. I'm not expecting anybody other than me and whoever is on that boat with me, the 8, because they got to get on the boat. Boy, you better get on that boat. You understand? We have to know what is God telling you. What is God telling you? You were telling you. I walk through D.C. and all I get is revelation. But it's not like I can just go, hey, look what God showed me. Praise him. Because every time God shows you something, it's an assignment to it. We have people running around, and I heard, and no assignments. You didn't hear and saw if you didn't go anywhere, if you don't have anywhere to go. All right, I'm getting too intense. Let me chill out. These are all the words that have been in my head. Jesus said, don't go tell no one. This man went and told everybody. I think Jesus is under, his agency is under providing him the kind of PR that he needs. He needs better PR. Not PR that says, everybody struggles. That's a horrible PR. It's like, that's awful. Everybody is sins. Right, but what about the deliverance that we have? The common salvation that we have? It's like this vulnerable victim Christianity has to go away. You can't go to heaven with it. You can't. It's not going to be in heaven. You can't find an angel that will agree with you. I must have got too intense. I want to get into this, but I want us to know that if you're going to be a mover and a shaker, you have to have compassion towards something. You know, one of the first things that God does with compassion, it's usually something you've walked through. And because you've gone through it, you actually know that you can get through it. Why does God have you bumping into people that have very similar stories to you? If you don't believe in God, how can you think that you can just bump in? They went through the same thing, exact same thing. Their name is Tracey too. They was born in the same hospital. They could have been me, right? I'm just bumped into you out of billions of people in the earth. No, I have to believe that there's an assignment here. That I've gone through something and you've gone through it and now you're going through it and I can help you through it. That's sometimes the key to your compassion is to know that you made it through it and your willingness to help someone else make it through it. I got saved, y'all. I mean, I know that you're wondering, but I did. You're like, did he get saved? He opens up with the club and all that. I got saved, Sabrina. I got saved. I mean, I got straight up born again. Straight up. I got saved. I got saved. I mean, anyone in this room, you got saved? I mean, that you were on the boat. 6 years old, I'm sitting there watching a TV show, and it's called The Bible, and it starts with Adam and Eve in the garden. And it takes it through the whole how sin comes into the earth. And it gets to Noah going onto the boat and the people knocking and wanting to get in, and the door has to close and God seals it, and he goes, the rain comes. And in that moment, I'm unsaved in a house with a praying grandmother, and the presence of the Lord comes upon me as I'm watching this show. 6 years old. And I feel this impression that I've got to build him an ark in the last days. And I said, God, don't let me miss your last day ark. And he put in my heart to build him an ark. Got saved. And I want to spend my life building an ark. I want to build an ark for people's safety, for people to be set free. Come on, someone. Is anyone? I want to build a space for people to be set free. I want to build an atmosphere for people to be set free. I want to build a building for people to be set free. I want to build something that creates salvation for someone else. I don't want to waste my life just trying to be saved. I am saved. I want to help people get saved. I want to help people find their salvation. I want salvation to be common. I want it to be common. I want everybody to have it. I want everyone to have it. I don't want salvation for the special ones. I want salvation for everybody. It's got to be a common salvation. It's got to be so easily given out. I'm giving it here. Yeah, I got a bunch of it. Here you go. I got more. You need some? I got some. You need some? I got some. You and I can set people free. But because we think it's so far, oh, you know, that guy over there, he prays for the sick. He's amazing. Well, that woman over there, she's amazing. When she sings deliverance, songs of deliverance come on. But you got to know it's common. This is what we do. This is the kingdom of God. Well, I just feel like we can move into a supernatural service right now. This is the kingdom of God. This is the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God sets people free, church. Let me have more minutes. The kingdom of God sets people free. It sets people free. It sets people free. It's what we do. That's why we're here. I'm here to set the captive free. I'm here to destroy the works of the devil. Come on, say it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. This is what we do. We get in their stuff and we set them free. My wife has this saying, ta-da! I'm here.